Hi, in this video, we'll talk about newsletters. Publishing of newsletters on a very frequent or on specified intervals is very important. Newsletter informs parent about whatever is happening in the school related to school activities, policies, school news, updates, changes, timing changes, schedule changes, events, performances, results, student award. So, whatever is happening is updated to the parents with the help of newsletters. Newsletters can be published in two modes at present. First mode is digital, and second mode is print version. So whichever we have to choose, we can choose. Digital doesn't involve any cost. Templates are there available on Google. If you just go to Google and write down the templates of newsletter, you will find many templates. So a digital newsletter can be published, or a print newsletter can be published. Now, principals have to review the newsletter as per principal's handbook every week. This is very important for the consistency, for the quality, for seeing that the newspaper is getting published. So, principals need to evaluate and check and update themselves for the consistency and quality every week. As per principal's handbook, it is mentioned over there. Normally, there is a belief that newsletter can be only of one type, that is the general newsletter. But in good schools, there are many kind of newsletters which get published. For example, science newsletter. The topics can be different. And I mean, at this point of time, again, I am repeating, not a page in a newsletter, but a separate newsletter for science, separate newsletter for innovations, separate newsletter for technology, separate newsletter for Hindi department, separate newsletter for career update, for politics, for latest innovation, and we can also have a newsletter for a class. Fourth class can publish their own newsletters, talking about the birthdays of the classmates, talking about what the siblings are doing, talking about the community, talking about their lives, talking about where they have gone on a holiday, talking about important events. So they can talk about many things in the class newsletter itself. And many types of newsletters must get published. Principal need to ensure to fix up a date. Third, general newsletter is going to get published. 13th, science newsletter is going to get published. 15th, technology newsletter is going to get published. 30th, class newsletter is going to get published. First, career newsletter is going to get published. Now, can you imagine? When you have many newsletters, how many students and teachers are going to be involved? When students are writing, how good they are going to get at writing. If some students are at designing, how good they are going to get at designing, the kind of exposure you are going to give it to your students. So have many newsletters, and today digital newsletters won't cost anything to you. And templates are there available on Google. So have many newsletters. They have different editorial boards. Have many students in charges. Review these newsletters on a weekly basis. Whether the deadlines are matched, whether the quality is optimum, whether consistency in printing or digitally publishing is there. So every week you need to check on. I'll just share some important contents which can be there in the newsletter. We need to keep newsletter very simple, with colorful, with some animations. If there are photographs, then the photographs must be captured very well. The content must be very attractive. The newsletter must have a theme. Designing must be very good. It must be very tidy. And all the main events related to that particular theme must also be there. So we need to keep a check on this. We can share a recipe in the newsletter. We can talk about something about the community. What's happening today? The COVID is happening. We can talk about COVID. We can share something from the leadership, president. We can talk about US president. We can have a letter from the leadership. We can have trivia questions. We can have fun facts, jokes. We can have inspirational quotes. We can have shareable images. We can have current and upcoming school events. We can also conduct interviews of the administrative officer, judges, politicians, scientists, doctors, army officers, air force officers, defense people, and publish them in the newsletters. We can have a kindness corner. We can have a self-help. We can have many other interesting topics in the newsletter. So, at a fixed interval, there must be a newsletter which must get published. Many newsletters must get published. And if there are many newsletters, I am sure many students are going to get involved. You as a principal is going to be very successful principal, impressive principal, a principal who is actually dedicated, who wants their students to grow and do something good. So that is the kind of principal you are going to be if you are publishing newsletter on a very regular basis, consistent basis with a quality. And the cost is not involved today. And you can print some newsletter in print edition and share it with the society. Share it with the parents, share it with the prospective parents, share it with the well-known people of your city. So digital newsletter and print newsletter, choice is yours. Many newsletters, choice is yours. But yes, newsletters must be published and reviewed by the principal each and every week. I am sure you might be learning a lot with the principal's handbook, following it, following all the tasks on a religious daily basis, and that will improve, that will make your school improve, quality of your school improve, and I'm sure that will take you a long way. Thank you very much. If you've liked the video, please subscribe to the channel Principal's Handbook and Diary. I'm sure you will get regularly new videos, and I'm sure you can make your school better. If you have any update, you can just write it to me. We'll definitely incorporate it next time. Thank you very much.